Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. So, my March Madness challenge for today is to pay attention to nature's movement and life lessons from a photo shoot. So, I'm going to jump right into this and make this one short, sweet, and to the point. First of all, it has been hella windy. Y'all, the way this wind is kicking, it was like yesterday, all I saw was like the sky looked dusty, and that's how hard the wind was blowing. Actually, it could have been something. I thought I saw something on something. I could be wrong, but it just looked like dust was constantly in the air along with pollen. But how the wind is moving made me pay attention to that. Also, I need to get a new wind chime because I done turned old, y'all. Like, this happened before 36. My 30s turned me old. I was about to say dad's death turned me old. That sounds real bad, and that's not what I mean. I started to appreciate some of the things that older people do as that transition hit me. Plants. I ain't want no plants. And I wouldn't have plants if daddy hadn't passed away and they gave us plants. And now, plant lady. I think I have 46. That's ridiculous. Plants. But when you start learning about them and then you're like, oh, no, my number is wrong. 36, because 46 sounded outrageous. It's me going through the window. Not going through it, but looking at the window like, no. I had a few die. That's the only reason why we're not in our 40s, but it's okay. They went on to glory, like my daddy. Anyways, thinking about all of that is just like, oh, this right here. The things, all of the things. So that's nature, what I pay attention to in nature. But I got my points right here because I was like, how can I pull some life lessons from a photo shoot? And then I started to think, oh, baby, you got plenty. I did a photo shoot for myself yesterday. And I try to tell people oftentimes when you book a session, try your outfits on in front of the mirror, sit down in the mirror, like all of those things matter. Because there's moments that how you want to look may not look exactly what it is, but sometimes you need to embrace the process and not just look for the outcome. And that was what yesterday was for me. So typically, I'm not a busy pattern type of girl because they always tell you, as a plus size woman, stripes are not your friends, patterns aren't your friends, busy things aren't your friends. And you want to know what my favorite image was from yesterday? It was this one. This one right here. And it's patterns. And it's just like, okay, well, cool. It worked in my favor and I loved it. And it's like, okay, trust the process. But there's oftentimes we're like, oh, no. This is not working. But you don't know until you try, and you got to have patience, and it will take time. It will take effort. It will take modifications, but it's the same thing that I say to my clients that all they see is the negative in the pictures that we take. It's like, you don't see how gorgeous that picture is, baby. You are gorgeous, but all you see is the scar on your face, or all you see is how thick your lips may be, but yet you have on the perfect shade of lipstick on those lips, and baby, it's gorgeous. Those are the things that I try to tell, but that's like, that's life. Embrace the process, not just the outcome. Because I've learned so much in taking pictures. I've learned so much about who I am and how I see myself in this process. Like, there's so many things that I would love to change about myself. Like, y'all know, I talk about it on here all the time. Like, with my weight, it's a struggle. And yet I've had to learn to love myself here, now, in this headspace, in this place to be like, all right, I love you how you are. And I'm going to work how I need to work to get to where I want to be. But if I can't love myself here, that's good. If I don't love myself here, you still not going to love yourself there. I promise you, I remember the day that I was talking to my client and I wouldn't even say she was ideal size for me. I believe she was a 2, size 2. And she was like, girl, this girdle is cutting into me. And I was like, what do you have a girdle on? She's like, I gotta make sure I'm smooth. And I was like, oh, I'm never going to get out of a shapewear. I am never. If you are a quote unquote ideal size 2, and you are still squeezing into shapewear. And it was like, oh, I better love myself here, because there it's going to be the same. But it's like, but who are you? So embrace the process, because it's not just about the outcome. And even with that, you must focus on the things that matter. I told y'all the word of the week last week was focus. What are you going to focus on? Are you going to focus on what you don't like about yourself? Or can we appreciate, oh, baby, this color looks amazing on you. I love how your hair is shaping your face. Oh, I love your earrings. It's the things. What do you want to look at? And what do you want to see? But I think the same way that we focus on the wrong things, just like I have focused on the negative comments more than I have on the positive, it could be one out of 30. And you're like, oh, I'm focusing on that one. Baby, you had 30 other comments and you sat here and focused on the one. It's like, appreciate the good. Focus on the good. And that's just like with my lens. I can put something here and it's going to focus on the here. And the moment that I move it, then I'm back in focus. Baby, what needs to be in focus in your life right now? What needs to be in focus right now? Where do you need to change your perspective? All of it works. Because all you got to realize, sometimes you just need to move. Sometimes it's a different angle. Sometimes you need a new location. One thing that I have said before is I can typically be limited in studio. So the very thing that I love about the studio is that it's a controlled environment, but I'm limited on how many ways I can turn, because then we're off of the background. But let us go outside. I can literally turn you any way and catch something different, because your angle matters in this journey called life. If this angle doesn't work, pivot. If this angle doesn't work, pivot. And if you're stuck into a studio environment where you can't pivot, I can tell you to turn. And when you turn, you're adjusting the thing. Some things just need to be turned because you need to see it from a different perspective. Baby, I didn't know this was going to turn into a high beautiful, but here we are. And the other thing about being outside is I can get to a good focal lens point that I can blur the background. I don't think y'all have much of a blur. If I do this though, then you see the blur. Sometimes I can't get distracted by what's going on behind me, but I need to focus on what's in front of me. And when you focus on what's in front of you, you're less likely to notice that there is a heat press right here. You're less likely to know that there's vinyl right here. What are you focusing on? What are you being intentional on? Or what do you need to stop focusing on? Because I can tell you, I can't focus on two different things at the same time unless I bring the whole picture into focus. And then I'm back to the distractions. So do what you got to do. And the next thing I need you to know is that every shot will not be perfect. And that is okay. That's what I try to tell my clients. If you've ever had a session with me, you would know that I overshoot. Why? For the simple fact of, I could give y'all an example right here. It's the simple fact of the small things that you do can change so much about a picture. And so like when I'm shooting kids, when I'm taking pictures of kids, their smallest smile can make you love a picture more than them just sitting there looking, but they get ready to smile. And so then you got their cheeks going up and you're like, oh, they're holding back their smile, but it can be the cutest picture. And then you can catch them in a laugh and it's just like a belly laugh. Each click could be a different moment, but for the ones that don't work, we throw them out. There are moments that I have set up the camera on a tripod and I use the remote so that I can be out the room, because sometimes they just don't like me. And so if I can get the parent to sit behind the camera, they're noticing somebody, they're focusing on somebody that they know beyond the camera, and I'm able to get that image. And yes, I might have taken 100 extra pictures. Ignore the ones you don't like. Focus on the ones. That's why I always say, take the meat and leave the bones. everything that somebody says is not going to be for you. And that's okay. Take the meat and leave the bones. Period. Period. The other thing that you will learn in photography, that timing is everything. Same thing I was saying about the smile. It can be moments that I capture a good off guard picture because you were just in your element. You were fixing. Oftentimes when I can give somebody a pose and I can be like, put your hands on your hips. But when I tell them that, their shoulders go up and it's like, why are their shoulders high? But then they can go to adjust their pants and I find that their natural placement is not on their hips. It could be lower. And so I'm like, put your elbows here and you can see their whole shoulders relax. And it's like, the timing matters in all of it. When it comes to light, when it comes to opportunity, when it comes to patience, timing is everything. And that's why I say, for me, when it comes to a kid session, I may overshoot, but you don't know the moment that you will get that smile out of them or something that you say that tickles their funny bone. And it's like, there you go. There it go. But if I wasn't there clicking on the right time, on the right second, oh, I missed a whole moment. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about on this doggone subject is editing is part of the process. Y'all know I can't stand editing. I am out of that season. Like when Dad passed and I had to sit in the silence of his death in my office and edit, I was like, it did something to me. But yet editing is part of the process. There's moments that I need to remove that blemish off of here. But also in the moments that I'm removing this blemish, I also have people that are like, can you leave that there? Because I've had people that when I've taken a picture, they have removed my scars. I don't need you to remove my scars because to me, they tell you my story and they're a part of me. So it's not that I necessarily want you to airbrush my scars out. It's me. If you saw a picture of me without scars, you might be like, but that also don't look like her. But the other part of that editing process is I can also move stuff out of the background. I can also go and enhance the best part of it. And that's how we do with our life. We're looking for the best version of us. Just like I said, I have to put in the work to lose the weight. I also have to put in the work to edit and to highlight the things that want to be highlighted. And I could also throw a light in there, just like lighting affects all of this. We can go from here to the this. I have a high power. I got ultra light, ultra bright. But we can talk about me being closer to y'all and you seeing more of the details of me, but also how it well lit. That ain't the word. How when I sit back, then it highlights all of this versus me coming closer and you got some extra shadows over here that gives you just this. Didn't mean to hit y'all. To give you this more moody vibe, or I could take it a little darker and let the things that's around me and you got a better separation, or I could put that light right in front of me. Of course, I don't have a screen that is bright in front of me. None of my screens are bright. Boom. And then you got a whole different vibe here. And let me not turn him up while he's up and you're like, okay, girl, you're a little bit washed out, but it's the power of lighting. But it can set the mood. And sometimes our light is a little bit brighter. Sometimes our light is a little bit brighter. Some days it's dimmer. Sometimes I need to be in a mood. Sometimes I need a vibe. Sometimes I need to come out of the darkness and be like, bam, here I am. It's me, Brittany. Like, that's just what it is. But it's the power of lighting. And so those are just some of my life lessons through photography that I pray that you can plug and play. Remember, pivot how you need to pivot because every angle may not be it. Just like I lean more towards this angle and I never thought that I would because of my scars. But like this angle ain't that bad. I just know this chick be looking extra big on this side and it be like, and that's okay. But this is my go-to. And when you learn your side, you stay into that side. You learn how, oh, that's my angle. So when somebody else tries to get in a picture with you, baby, can I have this side? Because that's my side. That's just what it is. So here we are unfolding. Baby, this wasn't even a How Beautiful, but we're going to leave that in there. Here we are just unfolding this thing called life. If you made it this far in the video, drop me something photography related in the comments section. Y'all have an amazing day. Bye.